Thanks for watching. This is a quick look at how Google views and ranks your website in the search results. By understanding how the program works, then we can use it to your advantage to drive some traffic to your site, so that way you show up in the first page of Google and you're the first click and the first call whenever anybody's searching in the area. Now I've got your site pulled up here, and the first problem I see is that it's not secure, meaning it doesn't have an SSL certificate. Now that's a problem because a lot of web browsers, when a customer clicks on your web page, this is what they're going to see. It's a big warning, and this is going to be highlighted, so they're going to assume that this is the only option. They don't realize that they have to click advanced and then click accept the risk to be able to go to the website. They'll just end up clicking on somebody else's. As far as the setup, everybody can read through the drop-down menus and easily navigate to whatever they want. But beyond that, it's basically set up like an e-commerce site, which is going to be a problem for Google because when it's looking to rank a website, it's going to do so on two factors. The first is the content. It's going to come in and count all the words and text on the page. It's generally looking for about 1,000 to 1,500 minimum words because it assumes that the more information you have on the page, the more of an expert you are. Now, while it's counting, it's also looking for keywords, which would be anything that somebody might type into the Google search bar. Generally going to be a product that you offer and then an area that you offer it in. Now, this is where the number of words comes into play because you're only allowed to have one keyword for every 100 to 150 words of text. So the more keywords you want to be searched and found for means the more content and text that we'd have to add to the page. The second way that Google is going to rank your web page is based on its authority, which is basically a popularity contest. You're going to build authority in two ways. The first is by getting citations, which is any time that your name, address, and phone number are listed in online directories, such as Yelp, Yellow Pages, or Better Business Bureau, things like that. They're usually free to get. It just takes some time to find all the individual sites, register your business, and then input everything exactly as it's shown in Google. The second way that's going to build authority is through what's called a backlink, which is when another website links or refers back to it. It acts like an endorsement when Google uses to build trust because others are vouching for you. It's kind of the same thing as a customer review. If you had 1,000 five-star reviews, a customer that was searching for you might think pretty highly of you. Google's doing the same thing, except it's using other websites to create that evaluation. Now, to see how this determines your ranking in the web results, if we put our search back in here, this is the first thing you're going to see come up, which is called the map pack. It's actually a pretty important area to try to get into because statistically speaking, anywhere from 40 to 60% of people will just click on one of these top 3 listings. To get listed in here, you need to fill out your Google business profile, which is free. It's inside your Maps app, so you can do it right from a smartphone. When you're filling it out, you want to make sure you fill out as much information as possible, including the services that you offer, the area that you offer it in, and then even the hours of operation. Then you want to continuously add photos from inside your service area that are geotagged, as well as posts into your profile. Have as many customers review you as possible. And then you want to get as many of those citations, the name, address, and phone number. You want to be listed in more directories than anybody else on this list to increase your ranking. Down at the bottom here, after this is what we call the organic search results. This is where the higher the authority or the more trust Google has in your site, the higher up on the list that you're going to rank. So to demonstrate this, I put your website into this tool that I use, and it shows me all the data that Google is collecting when it crawls your site based on your authority and your content. So as you can see here, Google is not finding that any other sites are referring back to yours, most likely because it's unsecure, and it's picking up 7 keywords. Just as a comparison, what I've done is taken some of the top names on this list so we can see what they're doing. Now, some of these are national companies that have multiple locations, but you can see how many websites they have referring back to them. Just to kind of understand these terms, if the local news station did an online article of, say, the top 10 CBD oil or cannabis dispensaries in Mass, and in that article they had a link that the reader could click and it would bring them back to your website, that would be considered one referring domain or one referring website. So as you can see, it varies depending on the strength of the site. But even like a local guy like this is somebody that we could easily compete with, and that would get you right up in here. So you're pretty close to the top, and that's definitely somebody that's easier to compete with while you're building authority to eventually work up to get on top of these more chain type places. Now, the second area you want to look into is the keywords. Words and phrases that are being typed into Google search that are being found on your website, as well as the volume, the number of times per month, and then your position, what number in the list on Google that you're ranking. So for instance, CBD bath bombs, they're being searched for 200 times a month. Right now, you're in the 70th position, which is going to be somewhere on the bottom of the 7th or top of the 8th page. Unfortunately, nobody's finding you down there. But if you were on the first page, 200 people a month would see your site when they're searching. If we're really conservative and say only 10% of those people actually click and give you a call, you've got 20 potential new customers per month. Now, I don't know what the average close rate is or conversion rate for customers when they call or click on your website, but that's just potential of 20 new customers off of one keyword. So then what we would do is we would go in and find all the highest volume keywords, obviously relative to your area and also to the services and products you provide, and make sure that they're being found on your website. So that way, anytime somebody is searching, that keyword is pulling up your site and you're on the first page where they can see and the consumers can easily find you. So I hope this information was helpful and it allows you to scale some of your online presence so consumers can find you more easily. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or would like to go into any further details. Also, we could talk about the goals for the business and I can do some research to find out exactly what it would take for you to reach those. And I always do love getting feedback as well to find out if information like this is useful for you. So please let me know what you thought. Thanks, and I look forward to speaking with you.